Hey, thanks for tuning in today. So I'm just getting ready for a workshop later in the week. And I was listening to some old stuff from Alan Weiss from previous, mastermind or something. It came up on my own private podcast. So if you don't know, by the way, I have my own private podcast. This is only locked down to me. And you might be wondering, why on earth do I have a podcast that is only for me? It's because when I have like coaching calls or masterminds or things like that, and there's a recording, I know if it sits on the computer, I'll never listen to it. And so, I think I've done a whole podcast episode about that. So I'm not going to talk about that on this one. But yeah, I was just listening to one on a drive about communication, and this kind of, I think it's like Consulting 101 lesson came through from Alan Weiss. How do you control communication? How do you control conversations? From Alan, and I've learned this stuff over the years, but it's just a good reminder actually of bringing this back in. So someone asked Alan around, what happens if you have an exploratory call with a prospect? And he's like, you never have an exploratory call. You always need to define what success would look like for you. What he recommends in terms of measures of success for your meeting with a prospect, so this is if you're in business development for yourself, or if you work for an organization, or you work in sales or anything like that. But I think you can actually apply it to any meeting that you're in, to be honest. Defining terms in terms of what is the measure of success, but it's like on a continuum. So there's like minimum success and maximum, and he just calls them MinMax. This is such a great way of thinking around your intentions around a meeting, because I think a lot of the time we think of it as binary, like I'll be asked to quote, and then it's like, that's a win. But there's other ways that you can have success during a meeting. One could be building rapport. It could be getting a referral. It could be finding out if they know who the economic buyer is. Maximum could be, well, they want me to quote immediately, or they're ready to go tomorrow. Like that would be like kick butt, maximum success. But I don't think I actually intentionally do this. Like maybe I went through a stage a few years ago where I'd actually remember, like, set the intention, outline what minimum is and what maximum is, because you need those guardrails in place for yourself before you go into a conversation. And there's a reason this came up in the Controlling Conversations Q&A thing I was doing with Alan, is because if you don't have the min-max set, then it's very hard to control a conversation because you don't know what the guardrails are. And he uses the metaphor of a boat going through a channel. When a boat goes through a channel, it can be, due to pressures like wind, the tides, it can be pushed in different directions. And your job in a conversation is to steer the boat back down the channel and not hit anything, not go out of bounds. And so first of all, to do that, you need to know what the objective is and what your min-max is. And maybe even ask the person you're talking to, what would they benefit from the conversation as well? Then it's almost like you're playing the role of facilitator for your own conversation, and that you're guiding the direction of it. You're using phrases, you're having to sometimes interrupt, you're paraphrasing, you're reframing the conversation. There's all these sort of micro skills that help you direct the boat into the channel and hopefully get to the destination that you're after. So his example of min-max, I think we could use it for any type of meeting. So if you're running a meeting internally and you're trying to drive an outcome, often we think that getting the outcome, getting a decision that is a binary outcome. What are some other outcomes? What would be your minimum outcome for that? What would be the maximum, which might be, yes, a decision was made and now we can all move on. Or maybe it's, I need to talk to 2 more people, or I know what the next action is from this. There's so many different things. And I think what I love about min-max is that it puts it on a continuum in terms of success and helps give you direction rather than be like, that was a waste of time. So rather than think, okay, I didn't get to that particular objective, so that was a complete waste of time. It's definitely not like that at all. So just sharing that as a reminder to myself to continue doing it. I am sharing that with a group later on in the week in terms of how they can engage their stakeholders as well. So thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.